And the survey, the roundtable, helped to cultivate these conversations. These were parts that were coming out of the conversations. And again, we want to thank Wells Fargo for their participation in that process of the roundtable. And we also even appreciate that they're one of our sponsors here on today. So the two we're going to touch on, and the reason why we wanted to even do this survey is there's many things, right, that we could work on. There's in all four of the areas. But we have to begin to prioritize what should we tackle first, what has the most precedence. And so there were three that we're going to mention today, but two that we're primarily going to focus on. And if you talk to any business, large or small, black or white, city or the country, rural area, there's always the questions about startup capital, accessing funds that they need to secure and to start their business. Here in Fresno, there's over 1,500 African-American owned business in the Fresno, Clovis, Madera area that employ about 4,500 individuals. And so we always hear from the chamber, okay, where are the resources for startup business? Where are the resources for businesses that are currently operating? And we wanted to ask Ms. Thomas if you could maybe start with that question. She is officer at Premier Valley Bank, and she's a commercial loan officer and has many years of experience. What are some of the ways that we can begin to talk about this?
You know, I think there are several opportunities. I think all of us know what's happening in the secondary market in the last couple of years.
Yeah, if you could use the microphone.
I think we all are aware of what's happening in the secondary market in the last couple of years. You know, I think it was highlighted by the failure of Lehman Brothers. So banking has been real tight. The credit market's really collapsed. And what we saw was that we're not making the kind of loans that we used to make. That doesn't mean that we're not making loans. In fact, on Monday, President Obama signed H.R. 5297. Among other things, that bill allowed the banks to get higher loan guarantees. We're now able to get 90% guarantees on loans up to $5 million. So that was up from $2 million previously. So that bill actually expires in coming December. So if you're out there looking for financing, now is the prime time to get it, because banks are actually looking to lend right now to take advantage of these programs. Small business owners typically don't get financing out the gate. They start like everybody else with credit cards, family members, partnerships. So those options are still there. There are other small business lending vehicles out there. Valley Small Business provides lending for microloans. A lot of us start small and grow that way. SimCal has revolving loan funds. So there are a lot of programs out there. I would encourage you right now to do your homework. One of the things Dr. Watts talked about was leadership. You just can't be a leader out the gate. Same thing for small business owners. You have to actually get out there and do your homework. Typically, the kind of loans that we're looking at are for people who actually have worked in the industry for somebody for a number of years, know all the ins and outs, the marketing, the financial plan, product development, and they're looking to start their own. They don't have the capital on their own. They typically didn't have resources for family members. So those are the kind of loans that we're looking to start. And I would encourage you to talk with your banker, see what's out there, and get to know the programs that the banks are financing.
Great. Great, Mr. Aldridge, did you want to add something to that?
Just a little bit more. With regards to those loans and so forth, I'm being assisted in my presentation this morning, and you either stand up, Cindy, or you stand up, or she's standing up. It was mentioned earlier about the SimCal business, small business finance group, and she's here. Both Ms. Thomas and myself, we serve on that board, and that's a real finance situation, and she's come prepared to give you some information and chat with you. I mean, that gets us past the theoretical aspects of it, because I often wonder, you know, why we don't have more folks from the African American community coming to SynCal to seek loans. The other part of this whole, startup and where you get the money and so forth is often a mystery, and especially with this economy and so forth, and the legislation and so forth being passed. But I think it would help anybody who is starting out or who is expanding their business. That's part of what we're going to talk about next, but to start to do your research. Small businesses and their survival is much like real estate and appreciation, not that the bottom is falling out, but it's location, location, location. And I think talking with professionals, I'm not talking about financial advisors and all of that, I'm talking about real professionals that can give you an idea of what the market is and where those niches are for you to either expand into or for you to start out in. Another thing that was mentioned by the mayor that I think is very important, and that is she mentioned she used to work for the incubator operation that's out of Cal State University, Fresno. That's another tremendous planning resource that you need to take advantage of. Now, for folks that are here, if that doesn't quite fit what you're talking about, I would say try to reach somebody else. So anyway, do your research. I think in the downtime now, when things are tight, you can start to look around where some possibilities are. And I think the playing field for small business will be a bit more level when things start out. And that planning and analysis and so forth that is necessary can be done now. And I would say to not be discouraged. And once again, I think the starting point is understanding that folks in the mainstream and those who have survived have a business plan. And I'm not indicting anybody, but if you don't have a sound business plan, you're out there just guessing. There are books relating to business plans. Look them up. Some of them are about this thick, some of them are thinner and so forth, but you need to be aware of that kind of a thing occurring. Just to say I want to do this, because most of us are talking about green industry. Well, first of all, we got to define, the scope and breadth of what green industry is, but it is evolving, and some effort should be put into that if you're talking about, a business that would be startup, and you're kind of looking. To me, that's a niche. So that's the end of it. That's rather a presentation, almost like preaching. But I have a couple more points I want to make a little bit.